Hello, everyone. My name is Ariel Jordan, and I'm part of the consultant team working with the Cleveland Foundation on the Cleveland Black Futures Fund. Welcome, and thank you for being here today. Thank you for your interest in the Cleveland Black Futures Fund. As you know, the Cleveland Black Futures Fund was started by the Cleveland Foundation in 2020. The fund was born out of the murder of George Floyd, a recognition that we need to address systemic racism and the very clear evidence of disparities existing today, even in the COVID-19 pandemic. They have already funded over 120 organizations through direct monetary grants or fellowships and look forward to continuing this work. If you haven't seen the launch video, it is available on the Cleveland Foundation YouTube channel. There will be 5 of these technical assistance sessions total starting on July 26th, with the last one being August 4th. Today, we are going to talk about the 3rd round of the fund, and we'll take some time to look at a video of the Grants Gateway system to make sure everyone knows how to access it. And we'll end in small group breakouts with grant writing assistance team, where you will have the opportunity to ask questions about eligibility and learn how to receive grant writing support. With that, I will turn it over to you, Annalise, to get us started.
Thank you, Ariel. Let's start with the overview of round 3. Next slide. What has not changed about the Cleveland Black Futures Fund is that it is a grant opportunity for Black-led nonprofits. The Cleveland Foundation is looking for organizations that is led by a Black person, and the organization is serving Black communities. The Cleveland Foundation learned from the first round of the Black Futures Fund that there is a greater need among organizations with a budget less than $1 million. So the Cleveland Foundation is looking for organizations who have an operating budget of less than $1 million. We're also still looking for organizations who serve within the 3 county footprint of the Cleveland Foundation, Cuyahoga, Lake, and Geauga counties. These are the counties TCF is restricted to providing support to. Also, eligibility is restricted to 501c3 organizations. The Cleveland Foundation can only provide grants to organizations with nonprofit status. If you do not have a 501c3, you can partner with a 501c3 and they can serve as your fiscal agent for your application. Also, in order to be eligible for round 3, you must not have received a monetary or fellowship award in round 2. If you did not receive a grant in round 2, you will have the opportunity to apply again during the next grant making cycle. We are also accepting applications from a wide range of issue areas. Next slide. This round will continue to have 2 different grant types of grants and an org can apply for: monetary grant and a fellowship grant. An org can apply for one or both. Next slide. For monetary grants, the Cleveland Foundation wanted to give some structure to how the grants will be awarded. Awards will be up to $1 million. If you didn't receive a grant in round 2, you want to apply, please do. With regard to monetary grants, the Cleveland Foundation is asking applicants to pick a level. During this round, the Cleveland Black Futures Fund will award monetary grant awards in one of the following categories of $15,000, $25,000, $50,000, $75,000, or $100,000. There will be more grants awarded on smaller grants than the larger portion. Think carefully about what your organization needs and target your request accordingly. Next slide. Another thing to keep in mind is that this grant is targeting organizational capacity and not specific project or program support. Let this wonderful definition from canon.org be at the heart of your organization's application. Capacity building can make an organization more focused, efficient, and productive. And this makes it easier to attract the money, leadership, and visibility that nonprofits need to thrive. These things include marketing, staff salaries, legal services, those things that keep the program running. These are the things that the Cleveland Foundation is interested in funding, because we know that the vast majority of grants that go to Black-led nonprofits go towards other things other than this. We know that the things that capacity building, the things that make organizations strong and resilient and sustainable are things that Black-led organizations receive less funding for. Our goal with this fund is to remediate that disparity and provide funding for these things. Next slide. The fellowship grant opportunity will be offered during this round. We're looking forward to providing a skill building in these 4 areas: in leadership development, fund development, marketing communications, and long-term strategic planning. The Cleveland Foundation will hire a coach to work with these cohorts to build in skills in these 4 areas. The Cleveland Foundation picked these 4 areas because in round 1 and round 2, these were the areas that most nonprofits indicated were their top area of need. This will allow us to serve more organizations through this fund in a very efficient fashion. You are allowed to apply for both grant types or one or the other. Being allowed to apply for both doesn't mean you'll definitely get both, but be intentional about defining your needs and apply for what is appropriate. Next slide. Now we've talked a bit about the grants, what are the grants for. We want to give an overview of the actual technical application process. For that, we have a video that has been recorded that we want to share now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kirby Santala, and I serve as the Associate Director of Grants Management at the Cleveland Foundation. It is so nice to be here with you all. Today, we are going to walk through the Cleveland Black Futures Fund's Round 2 application process. But before we jump into the application itself, we will first walk through the registration and login process for the Cleveland Foundation's Grants Gateway portal. To begin the registration process, we'll need to go to the Cleveland Foundation's website at www.clevelandfoundation.org. Here we'll click Login in the upper right-hand corner, and this will take us to the page where once you create your account, you'll log in with your username and password. But for new organizations that are registering for the first time, you'll see this purple text box in the middle for nonprofits and grantees with text that says click here to register. So we'll click here to register. Then we come to a page that asks for our first name, our last name, and our email address. So we'll enter that now. Re-enter my email address. Click submit. Now a time-sensitive single-use link will be sent to your email address. So you need to go right away to your email and find the link. So I go to the email address and I see that it's not in my main box, but I see a message from the Cleveland Foundation in my promotions. And this can happen. So not only check your main inbox, but also maybe your spam folder to find the email. So we find the email and we see this link. So we're going to click on the link. And that's going to open up the part 2 of the grant admin registration. So now we'll enter a password. We'll be asked some questions about for your individual account, as well as a challenge question for your account. So what's my pet's name? Well, my pet's name is Nellie, so I'll answer Nellie, and I'll give my personal date of birth, which is December 27, 1994. I'm going to put in a fake address. put in a fake phone number. It's the same for both the home and the cell phone. Click submit. So now we've created an individual account and we want to link to our organization. If somebody at your organization's already created an account with the Cleveland Foundation's Grants Gateway portal, you can search your organization here. So because I work for the Cleveland Foundation, we'll use this as an example. We'll search the Cleveland Foundation. And I see the Cleveland Foundation Incorporated listed here, and I can add myself as a grant admin to the Cleveland Foundation within our Grants Gateway portal. So at that point in time, you would add yourself as a grant admin, and then it would link you to the already existing organization, and you'd be able to log in within that organization's profile. But for the sake of example, we'll add a grantee organization if we're adding a new entity to our system. So we'll click add a grantee organization. And I've created a fake organization for this exercise called Commit. And we'll enter a fake EIN, 1, 2. And the EIN number is the tax exempt ID number that's listed on your letter of determination. We'll then add a fake address for the organization. And we'll add another fake phone number. We'll add the email that we listed. And we'll enter our fake website for the sake of the exercise. And we'll click submit. At this point, you've created an organization within the Cleveland Foundation's Grants Gateway portal, and you can go to Grants Gateway Home. Now we see that our organization is here. We see we have an address for our organization, a website, our tax ID number, and we see different access points on the left-hand side, such as the home button, and apply for a grant button, and my application section, and an organizational profile. We encourage everyone who's creating an organization for the first time to go to the organizational profile. Click review and edit profile. You'll be able to add more information about your organization, such as mission, history, information about staff and volunteers, consultants and contractors, and key programs and services regarding your organization. And this will be kept on file and can be edited and changed as you move forward in time, but it will give us more information about your organization and a deeper look. So how do we apply for the Cleveland Black Futures Fund Round 2? In order to do that, you'll go to apply for a grant and scroll down a little bit, and you'll see the Round 2 application here. You'll click apply for the CBFF application. So in order to get your application started, you'll have to put in a project title. So we'll put project title as Commit Capacity Building Initiative. We'll start the application. This has now created an application record in our system. So your application ID is 390520. And we now see a series of sections that include a whole bunch of different application questions, as well as specific document uploads. that will need to be completed. So if for whatever reason you say, okay, well, I got the application started, but I don't have a lot of time now. I want to come back to this later. So let's say we log out. And you go home, you rest for the evening, and you're coming back to work the next day, and you log back in. You may be asking, how do I get to the application I started? I saw that I had that application ID. How do I get back there? Well, the way you do it is you go to My Applications on the left-hand side, and you scroll down, and we see the application we started, 390520, Commit to Change Capacity Building Initiative. We see that it's in process, and we can click on the hyperlink next to the application ID, or under Actions, the Details hyperlink. And that will take us into our application. So each of these sections has a series of questions throughout. So we'll see the first is the contact information. You'll go here and confirm whether or not the applicant contact person is correct, the phone number is correct, the email address is correct. If it's not correct, you can say no, you can add a new executive director name, another email. But if it's yes, you can save and go next. And this will take you to the next section. So for the sake of time, we're not going to go through all the different sections and all the different questions, but you'll always want to keep in mind to save throughout and save and go next. So we'll go back to My Applications. We'll go to our application. And as you complete the different sections on this screen, you'll see a green check mark next to each section. Once you have completed all of the questions within each section of the application, you'll see 7 different green check marks. And there's a few different documents that we require in order for you to submit, including a board list with affiliations, an organization budget, and a current audit report or most recent financial statement if no audit is available. So in order to upload these documents, you'll click the hyperlink Details under Actions next to each line item. So for the board list with affiliations, we'll click Details. And you'll see 2 buttons. In order to select the file off your computer that you'll upload, you'll click Select. And you'll go to where it's at on your computer, and I have a board list here for the Cleveland Foundation as an example. I'll click this file, I'll click Open, and then I'll click Upload. And then it says that it's been submitted. Thank you. We know that it's there now. We can click back. This takes us to our main screen, and we see that this board list is there, that it's completed. So we'll do the same thing for the organization budget and the current audit report or most recent financial statement. So for the sake of time, I won't go through all of the different sections and all of the different questions or the additional uploads. But at the very end, when you have 7 green check marks and you've uploaded the 3 additional documents that are required. And as a side note, you're also able to upload additional attachments pertinent to the project. Once you have the 7 green check marks and all of your documents uploaded, a Next button will appear. And you'll click that Next button, And then there will be a button that says Submit Inquiry. And at that point in time, you'll be able to submit your application to the Cleveland Black Futures Fund Round 2 grant opportunity. And with that, this concludes the informational overview of the Cleveland Foundation's Grants Gateway registration process, as well as a quick overview of how to navigate the Cleveland Black Futures Fund Round 2 application. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Now that we've heard more about the technical application process looks like, here is a quick overview of what to expect in the application. Next slide. As we heard and saw in the video, the application is organized in sections. Section 1 is about your organization. Section 2 is about your work. What is it that you do? Section 3, the type of grant. Is it a monetary, fellowship, or both? Section 4, what are the uses of funds for the monetary grant applications only and different from the budget form that all applications must complete. Section 5, capacity building fellowship. Section 6, demographic data, demographics of your organization, leadership staff, and populations that you serve. Next slide. After you have attended a technical assistance session, gotten a grant writing assistance, and submitted your application will go through a review process along with all other applicants. The grant review process will occur in 3 steps. First, the screening process, where the applicants will be screened for eligibility and application completion. Applications who are eligible with completed applications will advance to initial review. Applicants who do not advance to initial review will be notified. Initial review. During the initial review, applicants will be sorted and assigned to review teams by issue area, and review teams will use a scoring rubric to score applications. Review team members are made up of a combination of foundation staff, other grant-making professionals, community partners, and advisory committee members. Applicants can see the copy of a rubric used during this phase in the applicant guide. Finalist round, the top scoring applicants across the different issue areas will be selected for finalists, and review team members will select which organization will receive grants and fellowship based on a deeper review of applications. Final grant decisions will be communicated to applicants. Next slide. Information about your income and expenses is also requested through the Cleveland Foundation budget form. Next slide. Hints and tips. Answer all questions thoroughly, but answers do not need to be long. Most questions are checkbox, short answer with a few open-ended questions. Grant writers are available to review your proposal ahead of time. If you have specific questions, sign up for a technical assistance workshop and meet with a grant writer. All applicants that attend the technical assistance sessions are eligible to sign up for a session with a grant writer. Applicants must hold a 501c3 status or be physically sponsored by a 501c3 organization. Also, use all the line items in your budget. Next slide. Here you can see the key dates for the round of Black Futures Fund. Applications are open from August 1st to August 31st. Grant writing assistance is open from August 1st to August 31st also. Next slide. As mentioned before, attending the technical assistance session makes you eligible to utilize grant writing assistance. Grant writing sessions will occur between August 1st and August 31st. Applicants will have the option to meet with a grant writer virtually. Cleveland Black Future Fund applicants will sign up for grant writing support through an electronic scheduling system linked in the chat. Scheduling system will be pre-populated with availability for each grant writer. As the applicant schedules, they will be matched with a grant writer based on their availability. Next slide. Each applicant will receive an automated email from a scheduling system, the name and contact information for the person with whom they are meeting, and a checklist of items to email the grant writer before the session. If an applicant needs to cancel an appointment, they must do within 48 hours of the appointment if they want the option to reschedule. If they do not cancel within 48 hours of the appointment, they will not have the option to reschedule. Next slide. Thank you so much for joining us and to learn more about the Black Futures Fund. Please engage with the resources available for this round, and we look forward to reviewing your application. We will now open sessions where you will ask grant writers, members from the consultant team, and myself any questions you have.